We're going to jump right into pick two. I'll start with the obvious guys. We talked Travis Fulgham and his 6 reception, 75-yard, 1 touchdown performance. And now in the last 3 games has at least 50 yards and a touchdown. My man is streaking. And then the big news, I guess, that came out in Miami. It's Tua's time now. And Fitzpatrick's going to be backing him up. Pick two, guys.
Sweet. So starting off, I mentioned Joe Mixon's injury, and so I'm going to piggyback off of that and hit you guys with my pick two. I'm going to start with Giovanni Bernard, running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. They're playing Dallas this week. So this game's got some potential to still put up points. Dallas's options, they are downgraded, but CD still had a pretty decent week. Amari got a decent week. It was garbage time, but I don't care. If I get my numbers at the end of the day, I get my numbers. So I still think that's coming up. Cincinnati has been throwing the ball a lot. They've been putting up yards. There's turnovers to be had because Joe Burrow is still turnover prone and incompletion prone. But yards are happening for the Cincinnati Bengals. I would be slightly worried that Mixon is going to be out this week, but more concerned with a troubling trend for Mixon, which has been just supreme inefficiency. If we take away his week 4, which had I believe it was a 6 yards per carry on 151 yards and 2 touchdowns, a 40-plus point performance, we're looking at a week 3 through week 5 span. His only weeks above 60% snap share, he was averaging 3.92, including week 4. So that was his boom week. Including that week, he's only averaging 3.92 yards per carry, which is barely above his season average. I really think that, and you've seen it a little bit, Giovanni Bernard had a snap rise, and you could contribute part of that to Mixon being out. But also part of it was the coach's comments. They kind of spoke about not just keeping him healthy, but also that they preferred Bernard in that 2-minute role. They've said that throughout this season, and it seems to be bearing out a little bit. I think that there's a little bit to be said for Giovanni Bernard really taking a little bit more of a role in this offense moving forward, and it seems the coaching staff might be a little bit displeased with Mixon's lack of efficiency to this point, minus 1 week 4 game. And back into my pick two on my other side, I'm going to be going with Emmanuel Ogbah. He's been performing pretty solidly for the Miami Dolphins for the last couple weeks. I think he's got 2.5 sacks in the last 3 weeks. And he's putting up great fantasy numbers for defensive ends. He's playing against Denver this week. Sorry, that might not be the right matchup, but Miami's got a bye this week. I'm still picking him. He's the guy. He's playing consistently enough in defensive end position, putting up the right kind of numbers that I'll hold on to him for a week to make sure I have him for the rest of my season. Emmanuel Ogbah's a pickup.
You know what? Watching that game, and then they shouted out I think he had 5 sacks on the year. It was low key like sleeper for me. Like Emmanuel Ogbah's out here, getting it. So yeah, I co-sign that pickup. You can get him off the bye if you're kind of good for this week in your IDP format. Yeah, I like it, Emmanuel Ogbah.
Okay, you got the Nye cosign. We'll stay with you, Nye. Pick two, my brother.
Right. And for this bye week, a lot of owners have Lamar Jackson out. So I'm going to go with Kyle Allen in their matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's, they're kind of primed to give you a plus outing. And honestly, with the matchups around, you can go with the Matthew Stafford against Atlanta. I like that matchup as well. But this Dallas defense is reeling right now. They're calling out coaches right now. I think Kyle Allen is due for like a 3-touchdown game. I think he's due for a plus 20-point game. So, yeah, go get Kyle Allen, put him in your lineup, play him against this Dallas Cowboys defense. They're reeling right now. Go pick up the Washington football team offense and play them against Dallas. And for my defensive player, I'm going with another Washington football team football player, and that's Montez Sweat. He has 4 sacks on the year. This Dallas team is in shambles. If you're on the bye week and you're looking for a fill-in guy, Montez Sweat is not out there, or is out there on the waiver wire. Go pick him up. Jonathan Allen's out there. Go pick him up. Brian Kerrigan is out there. Go pick him up. Chase Young's probably not out there, but go pick him up. This offensive line is bursting at the seams. They're putting guys in, who don't have a lot of chemistry with each other. This Dallas team is a prime matchup to kind of help you with the bye week this week.
Great picks. I just look at that game in general. One of those teams, Dallas or Washington, is going to look a whole lot better than what they actually are. That much maligned Dallas Cowboy defense could look like world beaters next week. Kosher Killer, pick two, my friend.
So I'm going to co-sign everything the commish said about Kyle Allen. I've had him on my radar. With that enticing matchup, Dallas's defense is not looking very sharp these days. Defensively, for my pick two, I'm looking at Juan Thornhill, the safety for Kansas City. He was a little bit quiet, but he's been on the field for just about every single defensive play since week 1. He's facing a Denver offense that is banged up. that doesn't protect Drew Lock very well. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to make some plays, both crashing the line up against the Denver running game, but also playing in coverage. I think he's going to be able to make some plays against Drew Lock.
I think that's a good call as well. I scouted him today too. Big baller.
Just for whatever this means to our listeners, I'm just going to read Drew Lock's stat line from last week against New England. 24 attempts, 10 completions, 189 yards, 2 interceptions, and no touchdowns. Fire up somebody in that secondary, and shout out New England.
Drew Lock, I mean, he's going to be a great player. He's young, but, you know, he's going to take
he
his
needs a
lumps.
better offensive line.
They've got a lot of things going there. I don't think that offense looks like it looked like on paper in the offseason. One other thing to mention, Jerick McKinnon. Are we firing up Jerick McKinnon? I wonder how many owners dropped him last week.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Moser coming back, only to subsequently probably now have to drop some waiver points on him just to get him back. Very quickly, Kosher, talk to us about Jerick McKinnon, man.
Yeah, right now the 49ers are going to be doing running back by committee, but McKinnon is going to get his touches. Keep in mind the Niners are very okay with having their wide receivers be involved in the running game. And so that means that he's not only splitting touches with other running backs, he's also splitting carries with guys like Deebo Samuel. That said, that running back by committee, if you have a good stream play, he's worth taking. He is efficient when he gets the carries. He is going to get something with Mostert out. Question is just how much are they going to cut into him with guys like Deebo or Ayuk running jet sweeps?
Yeah, Jermichael Hasty.
Michael Hasty too.
Michael Hasty.
Yeah, he got some burn the other night too. So yeah, it's actually you're spot on with that point with Deebo and Brandon Ayuk taking up some of those carries. I definitely expect that to happen.
Man, the way people are dropping in on the 49ers, man.
Might
want to go start scouting out the practice squad.
One more sneaky one. Defensive player, Jeremy Bates against Cleveland this weekend, playing like one of the best safeties in the NFL. He's having a fabulous year. Baker Mayfield is out there to be gotten. We've seen that already. He's kind of struggling, so Jesse Bates is another one you might want to keep your eye on if he's not rostered.